against two tough opponents in Louisville and Oklahoma. Cut it, big second half to cut that Oklahoma game pretty close.
Growth, learning, some positive learning, some learning through some mistakes as well. In our game against Oklahoma, they learned that not sharing the ball doesn't work as well as sharing the ball. So when we came down the floor, I know we went back and broke the film down. We came down the floor, and I think on 30 times we took shots with 0 passes, and we got 2 points out of those. And every other time we took one or more passes, we've got at least 29 points out of those possessions, not counting our transition. So I think that's learning, and the players will grow from that. And all along I said the strength of our team is our team, and the numbers support that. So we've learned. We're getting better.
How did the team react to just the playing style? You mentioned just struggling against half court against Louisville. I don't know what Oklahoma did, but were you all able to go out and execute your full court stuff like you wanted to, or just what was the style that you faced?
The start of the game was a little different. It kind of got a little chippy early on, and I think it disrupted our flow a little bit. Once we settled down, we never really got back into a real good groove like we've been playing, but we kept fighting. We were focused on getting the ball back inside to Raneem a lot more, and we got it inside. We made about 22 attempts getting the ball in the post. The unfortunate part that we learned there was we made 7 turnovers getting the ball in there, and so we can't make a third of our post-entry attempts can't result in turnovers. And so once we clean some of those things up, I think we'll become a more efficient half-court team as well.
You kind of look at this team in general, you just kind of touched on how the offense is kind of flowing a little bit and just kind of competing against these teams in this schedule. Do you kind of like how they're kind of having that mentality of wanting to win and trying to be ready to go early on as they have?
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about that in our huddles, we talk about that in practice, we talk about that in the locker room. What we discount, if anything, is when others or someone might suggest that, well, this schedule is a really tough one. I think that's just a nice way of saying maybe we're not ready to compete at that level. And I'd remind our players that this is what we're going to do, and it's not going to change. So get used to it. We're going to adjust to it. We're going to learn from it, and we'll continue to do this. So we're going to get there. We're on the way.
Yeah, just early thoughts on Iowa and just some of the problems that they
Well, it's like Louisville, another really strong, experienced team. Got one of the, if not the best post player, maybe one of the best couple post players in the country in Gustafson. She 27 and 13 a game last year. It seems like she shoots over 100% from the field. Yeah, no, it's not, but she doesn't miss. And so we're going to work hard on trying to limit her touches. That's easier said than done. We tried the same thing last year, and she went off for 35, and I don't think she put the ball on the floor not one time last year. So, and we had Ivy Brown and Raneem last year. So we're going to work hard at it again. We had a game plan last year. We still battled into overtime, and so we'll come back and see what we can do again tomorrow night.
Obviously, all the learning and growth that your team has gained through these first 2 games is great, but at the end of the day, you want to win a basketball game. So how important is it to get that first win tomorrow night?
I'll tell the players today that this is a great opportunity to win a game against the top 25 team in Doodle Arena, and we don't get those opportunities a lot, and so we want to capitalize on the opportunity. If anything we've learned from Louisville and from Oklahoma that would help us to win tonight, then I think that'll show up. But regardless of the outcome, I think, again, we're trying to build and grow so that we can continue to compete against this level of talent. We're going to play some more teams like this in Vancouver. We're going to play teams like this in South Bend. So it's not going to stop. And so we'll get ready tomorrow night and take advantage of that opportunity.
I know this year's team is completely different, but having taken them to overtime at their place last year, how much does just that vote of confidence help in this current roster, having already played them? A lot of these girls have that experience.
I think it gives some of the returners a little familiarity with the team. I think as far as confidence, they probably got more confidence, I think, from not winning at Oklahoma than anything we've done so far. I think that they felt like, I know they felt like that was a game that we could have won had we played better, had we been a little bit more efficient, had we been a little bit more deliberate about doing the things that we want to do as a team. So I think the confidence has grown from this year. I'm not so sure the confidence came from last year's game, but I think there's some familiarity that we will benefit from.
What did you get with Merrill and Aram being able to come out there and just be big contributors on Friday?
Well, as I told you, Merrill's going to be one of the best freshmen in this conference, and so at every game you've seen her continue to improve and learn, and her turnovers are dropping, her decision making is improving, so she's going to continue to be a great player. What Merrill brings is just great energy and effort. She never stops playing hard, no matter what the score is. And it was good to get Aram out there. We were testing the waters to see how she felt. She said she felt okay, so we left her, let her play a little bit longer. I think for everything considered, she did fine. and she's still learning what we're doing as a team. She's not been in practice for about 4 weeks, well, prior to last week, and so she's still trying to feel her way out a little bit, and the team's trying to re-assimilate her into the chemistry of the team on the floor. So she'll get there as well. So it's still a work in progress, but it's a good challenge, and it's a good group of kids.
Seeing what you've seen already against Iowa, do you guys feel like that you'll have success being able to kind of get out in the run game, or do you feel like this will be a better chance to also work on some of your half-court sets?
It'll take both. You're not going to beat a good team by being one-dimensional. And last year, the plan was to get out and run last year, and they smoked us up and down the floor. So we got into some half-court, and we had some success there. So no matter what we're going to do, that's a great team, great coach. They made, I think, 14 appearances in the NCAA tournament, and so we'll have to adjust. Just like when we played Louisville and they went to halftime, Coach Rawls adjusted. So that's what our players are learning, that to beat great teams, you can't be one-dimensional, and so we're learning that and growing as we go.